Hi students, let's go through the question that you did yesterday. So for question 6 part 1, 7 part 2, and 8 part 2, all of them are the similar questions. So let me break down the different steps that you need to have before you can do these type of questions. So I broke down into 4 steps so that you can identify yourself which step are you stuck at. So for step 1, right, by looking at this question here, are you able to identify the pattern? So look at the orange line here. Are you able to identify the pattern? So what does it mean by pattern? It means that are you able to identify that this sequence here is plus 7 for each of the new number? So if you can do that, give yourself a tick so that you have managed to find out what is the rule or patterns for this particular number sequence. So number 2. So once you have found out that number 2 here, so once you have found out that the pattern is plus 7 for each of the number for the next few terms. For example, if I want to get the second number, it will be plus 1, 7. This one. If I want to look at the third term, I'll need to add 7 plus 7, which is the same as 2 times 7. If I want to get the fourth term, it will be 7 plus 7 plus 7, which is the same as 7 times 3. So for the second step, are you able to identify that the number of 7 added has a relationship with the position of the term? So for the first number, for the first term, are you able to see that in order to get the first term, actually there's no 7 added. When I want to get the second term, there's only 1 7 added. When I want to get the third term, there's only 2 7 added, 7 plus 7. When I want to get the fourth term, there are 3 7 added, 7 plus 7 plus 7. So are you able to see the relations that whenever I want to find the next term in a sequence, can you see that it's always decreased by 1 between the position, so this is the position, and the number of 7 added. So for example, it's the first term, 0 7 added. When it's the second term, there are 1 7 added. When it's the third term, there's 2 sets of 7 added. And when it's the fourth term, there are 3 sets of 7 added. Can you see this relationship whereby you always decrease by 1? So the third step will be, are you able to form this expression 4 plus 7 times n minus 1? Why n minus 1? Because I noticed that the relationship in step 2 is always decreased by 1. So when I'm looking at the term in the n position, I need to add n minus 1 sets of 7. So once you can identify the expression, are you able to simplify the expression or not? That's another thing. To get 7n minus 3. So I know that some of you have a different method of doing it, and it's much faster. So if you can do it in a faster manner, let's go ahead. So for this type of question, normally, if you can tell me what is the expression, you have given the 1 mark. So if you can find out the expression directly, you can just write it down. So for part 1, the answer will be 7n minus 3. Okay, so for part 2, right, we will leave it to the next video. Let's go through all the questions that has a similar concept first. So for question 7, okay, so I won't go through part 1 because part 1 is quite straightforward. So for part 2, so let me just give you the answer for part 1. It will be 25 and 29. Why? Because I noticed that for each number, in order to get the number for the next term, I need to add 4. So I plus 4, plus 4, plus 4. So for part 2, right, go back to the same steps again to ask yourself which step are you stuck at. So if you can clear all 4 steps, right, that means you're good to go. So are you able to identify the pattern for question 7? In this case, the pattern is plus 4. So that's number 1. So number 2, are you able to see that for each number that you get, the number of 4 added is always decreased by 1. So if you're able to see this pattern, good for you. So when it's the first term, there's no 4 added. When the second term, there's 1 4 added. When it's the third term, there's 2 4 added. When it's the fourth term, there's 3 sets of 4 added. So are you able to realize that actually the position of the term, that means the first, second, third, fourth of the number sequence, is actually always decreased by 1 whenever you want to find out how many number of 4 added. It's always decreased by 1. So in this case, so for the n value, for the n position, it will be 9 plus 4 times n minus 1. So when I simplify this expression, 9 plus 4n minus 4, how do I get it? I need to simplify the expression. So if you are unfamiliar with this concept, right, go and revise chapter 4 on how to expand expressions. So after I simplify, I need to find out the like term. So my expression for the n term will be 5 plus 4n. So this is my answer. So for question 8, same thing also. Let's go through the steps, whether you can, let's see which steps are you able to achieve. Maybe not start, which step are you able to achieve. Which step you can achieve. Okay, so let's look at the number sequence given to us. So they tell us that the first 4 term, that means the first number, second number, third number, fourth number, are 1, 7, 13, 19. So this first number, right, this first over here, it actually means the position of the term. That means it is the first number of the sequence. So the term, right, just means numbers. So don't get so uptight or get so anxious or get so worried. What does term mean? Term, it just means a number. So let me give you the answer for the 8th term. So it will be, you need to add how many sets of 4? You need to add 7 sets of 4. So that means you need to add plus 4. So you add the first 4 to 19, it will be, this one will give you the 5th term, the 5th number. If I add one more 4, it will give you the 6th term or the 6th number. When I want to add one more 4, it will give me the 7th term or the 7th number. And I want to add one more 4, it will give me the 8th term, which is what we want, or is the 8th number. So 16 plus 19 will be 35. So now part 2, which is the question that we are looking at. Write down an expression in terms of n for the n term of the sequence. This one equals to 35. Okay, so are you able to see the pattern? So let's look at step 1. Are you able to see the pattern that in this case, what is the number that's added for each number? So if you notice, the number will be 6. From 1 to 7, you will need to add 6. From 7 to 13, add 6. From 13 to 19, add 6. Okay, so this means this one shouldn't be 4 anymore. It should be 6. Okay, so I'm just testing whether you able to spot the mistake. So if you're able to spot the mistake, that's good. So I plus 1 6 to get fifth, get the fifth term. I plus 1 more 6, I get the sixth term. I plus 1 more 6, I get the seventh term. Plus 1 more 6, I get the eighth term. So 24 plus 19 will be 24 plus 19 will be 43. 24 plus 19, correct, 43. Okay, so now in order to find out the n term, I always notice that whenever I want to add the number of 6 added, it always decreases by 1. Okay, so for this case, are you able to see that the number of 6 added is always decreased by 1? So for the first one, to get 1, I plus 0, 6. It means there's no 6 added. To get the second one, which is 7, I must take 1 plus 1, 6. To get a third number, I take 1 plus 2 times of 6, that means 6 plus 6, and which give me 13. And to get a fourth one, get 1 plus 6 times 3. That means I add 3 sets of 6, 6 plus 6 plus 6, to get 19. So for my n term, it will be 1 plus 6, because the number that's added to each term or number is 6 plus 6 plus 6 plus 6. And the number of 6 added, right, is always decreased by 1 of the position. So if it's the fourth position, I'll add 3 sets of 6. When it's the third position, I always add 2 sets of 6. When it's the second position, I always add 1 set of 6. So for the nth number, I need to add n minus 1 of 6. So when I simplify it, okay, let me draw some more space for myself. So I should get the n term, it will be 1 plus 6n minus 6, because I try to expand the term. And when I simplify it, it will give me minus 6n minus 5. 6n minus 5. Okay, so if you are able to get 6n minus 5 through another method, your answer will be accepted as well. Because normally this type of question is only like 1 mark. Because I'm afraid that some of you might not know where to start. That's why I give you these steps to like follow step by step. But if you are able to go ahead with your own method and it works for all these 3 questions for you, then just go ahead. So we have go through the 3 questions. So if you have any questions to ask, please text me. Then I can go through with you, because this is the best time for you to learn by yourself, at your own time, at your own speed. So please put in the effort to help yourself out. Thank you.